Yeah, and from there then the net present value factor, NPV itself, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's math. But Bill, once you know your LTV, is that enough?
The number is important to know as a range, but it's again the knowledge that you've got going through this whole process of understanding it, and therefore I would encourage the entrepreneur not just to download this to someone who knows how to do spreadsheets. Go through, understand the assumptions as you go through it, and as you just saw Dan and Alessandro go through, don't just get to the number as 305. It's 300, about 300, and it's driven by these types of things. And if we can make adjustments here, we can do a lot better.
Yeah.
And then you get back to the thing we were talking about, pricing, about how important pricing is, because that will flow right through the bottom line. But it's not just the number. It's about the knowledge you gain around it. And now as we move forward into the cost of customer acquisition, we're going to start balancing those things off. But at this point, you should have a pretty good understanding of what's driving your unit profit per product. Now the question is, how many of them can you sell? That's another question. But if we can't make unit profitability work at a unit of one, we're not going to make it up in scale. In other words, if you're losing money, you don't make it up by selling more of them. You don't become profitable by selling.
That's a very important point.
Yes.
Well, you guys took us to a very important part in our learning journey. Now we understand LTV. The next step, we'll be discussing COCA, and you'll be working with us on that as well. So let's together wrap up the LTV part, and please share with students your observations on the pitfalls, what they need to know, or advice for them as they go through the LTV process at their startups.
So it's a very easy process. You just have to follow, the guidelines, really think through every line, and once you understand every line, everything will make sense, and you'll get an indication of how much money your customers will generate across the lifetime of your business. But there's nothing to get scared of.
Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I would just kind of fall back to a lot of the earlier steps and kind of using this, as Bill said, as an understanding as opposed to a number. Look at what kind of knobs that you have to drive things up or down, and kind of do that sanity check. Does that make sense? Based on what you know about the customer, what you understand about them, and kind of use that for planning going forwards.
Bill?
I can't. I think they just said it very well. I really like what Dan said. So
Well, guys,
let me not pollute the air with anything more.
Well, guys, thanks so much for coming in this time. We cannot wait to see you for COCA.
Sounds good. Thanks for everything.
Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Have a safe trip home. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, Bill. We'll do.
Hey, this is great.
VIP.
I love this, guys.